Aussie-based solar electrical companies, listen up. I'm about to show you how a 10-day-old ad campaign returned a 2,881% return on ad spend, which resulted in this amazing review. And guys, I've got to be honest, this is a pretty normal occurrence for us for solar electrical companies across all states in Australia. Stay tuned. Hey guys, Matt from Tradie Web Guys here, and today I'm coming at you with a case study for a client of ours who's been on board for maybe a couple of months now. When this client came to us, their main constraint was they weren't generating consistent leads, and the leads they were getting were not branded. So they were coming from lead aggregation sites, which meant that they weren't really getting the lead quality they were getting was not as good as it could have been, especially when you consider the fact that it wasn't associating their company brand name with these leads. So since working with us over the last couple of months, we've had some amazing results for these guys, and truthfully, this is pretty typical of the results we're seeing right now across all different states in the country when it comes to solar installations, solar businesses, and things like that. So I'm going to run through with you guys the top 3 things that we actually did for this client in a very short space of time that has resulted in these outcomes. First and foremost, the conversation around branded consistent leads. Now, the reason that this is important and the reason that we have a lot of people come to us initially is because they're, competing on leads against other companies, and these lead aggregation sites do a good job at generating leads, but then it sort of turns into this bidding war. So if that is you, I will say to you guys, it's very much worthwhile your time and your investment to be generating your own leads. And it also is a great peace of mind, because when you look at your lead pipeline, and this is dependent on how many leads you need. It could be 10 leads a day, 20 leads a day, or it could be 5 leads a week. It doesn't really matter, but the point is being in control. And I'm going to show you in a second the system that we set up and deploy for solar companies, which can help them generate consistent branded leads. And it is we call it scalable acquisition. It is like as textbook as it comes. It's boring and it's predictable, and it works over and over and over again in different states, in different markets. It just works really, really well. The reason that they wanted to generate their own leads was to essentially create some consistency with their growth forecast. And when we looked at where they want to be in 6 months and where they're at currently, the missing link there, and this is pretty common, is the fact that they don't have their own leads being generated, which means they can't really forecast their growth patterns looking forward. So if you can relate to that, guess what? Don't feel like an alien. This is a normal thing. So the first thing that we needed to do was to establish a lead management system. And so as part of our foundation program, what we inevitably do before we go down the path of generating and running ads, we want to make sure that the leads that we create are being pulled into a system which first of all enables us to capture all the contacts, but then moves them through a sales cycle. Now, we call this pipeline management or whatever you want to call it, but the point is you want to make sure that your business has complete transparency over all the leads that are coming in and the way they're being nurtured through that sales process. And I will also add that nurture process absolutely must have the capability to include things like text message automations and email marketing automations and all that kind of stuff. There's no point in having your leads come into a system that doesn't enable you to communicate with that contact record. I mean, you could do that, but it's a pain in the bum. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to quickly jump in and show you what this actually looks like. You can see here there's when the leads come in for this client, they're being pulled straight into a defined system. And then as a result, we can then move the leads into an opportunity pipeline. And an opportunity pipeline essentially means, when these leads come in, let's take them through from lead right through to contacted with pipeline values and all that kind of stuff. So we know at any point in time what value we have sitting in any part of our sales process. So this is a really super glimpse into an enormous system, but just so you guys have some perspective of what it should look like for you. And the backup system that we have here for when these leads come in also enables us to make sure that we've got clarity over these leads as they're coming in real time. And as you can see here, they're off a very, very reasonable budget. They're generating, very consistent leads here, which is a complete game changer. When they came to us, they had none of this. Generating the qualified leads that are coming from a branded source is really important. Then the next thing you want to make sure you've got backing you up is professional representation. And when I say that, essentially what I'm talking about here is when people come to you, if their first point of contact is through something like a paid traffic source, we would consider that relatively cold. So the way that you can warm those leads up is through showcasing your expertise and really empowering them to believe that you are the go-to expert in your area for said thing. In this case, the website. Now, the reason that I sort of touch on this as an important aspect in the ecosystem of search, but not the actual defining thing that's going to move the needle, is because what we find typically, and you may relate to this and you may not, and you may not even have any metrics to be able to quantify this, but when people do come to you for information, they're very likely to go back and do some research on you. So although that isn't the thing that's going to move the needle initially, the thing that's going to move the needle initially is the lead management system and the leads that are being generated. It certainly will work in your favor if you can steer them towards something, or if they can steer themselves towards a website, which makes you guys look as good as you surely are. So we went and rebuilt this client's website for them as part of the program. And we did it because we want people to be able to come back and do their research and go, right, these guys actually are the company that we want to work with in the area that we want to work in. And there's no questions about it. Here's some of the work we do. Here's photos of the team doing it. These are some of the systems and services. And then looking forward, we use this website as a way that we can start adding projects and we can start showcasing the work that we do so that people really get a better understanding of the type of work we do, where we do it, why we do it, how we do it, and then showcase some of these problems that we come across and showcase some of our proactive thinking in the space of these jobs that we're doing for people that are potentially interested in our work. So this is a really nice example of what a project gallery should look like. And once we have a whole bunch of these, we then have leverage on how we can use it. We could send it out to social media. We could send it we could put it into an ad of some sort. We could send it out as an email newsletter, and so on and so forth. So anyway, if you are a solar-based company and you're living in Australia, I can promise you the following things. And we guarantee these. Consistent branded leads, whatever that looks like for your business and whatever volume you need, we tailor that to suit your organization. Professional representation. We will make you guys look as good as you surely are at doing your thing, your art, your craft. And then we will also help you define your sales and marketing system. And some of the serendipities that come as a result of that, I won't get into it too much right now, but we will definitely help you refine your sales process and that system once we have momentum. And this is a very common conversation with all of our clients. Once we solve the lead problem, what's next? So anyway, head across to tradiewebguys.com.au and fill in one of the forms there. Let's have a conversation. I know we can help you. We do it for loads of companies all over the country, and you will be no different, I guarantee. Chat soon.